In the hushed wards of a modest hospital nestled in the vibrant heart of Mexico City, where the scent of antiseptic mingles with the faint echoes of distant church bells, a miracle unfolded that transcended the boundaries of medicine, faith, and human understanding. This is no ordinary tale of a deathbed wish fulfilled. It's a profound testament to the Virgin Mary's unwavering compassion, a story that mended shattered lives, ignited dormant beliefs, and rippled across continents like a divine wave. Imagine a woman on the brink of eternity, her simple plea summoning not just an image, but a celestial intervention that healed bodies, hearts, and souls in ways no one could have foreseen. What happened that night shocked doctors, skeptics, and believers alike, proving that miracles aren't confined to ancient scriptures. They bloom in the most unexpected places. Before we immerse ourselves in this extraordinary account, pause for a moment. Drop a comment below sharing where you're joining us from and the current time on your clock. Let's map out how far the Virgin Mary's grace is traveling today, touching lives in real time. Elena Vasquez was born in 1956 in the sun-drenched village of San Miguel, a quaint pueblo surrounded by rolling hills and fields of maize in rural Jalisco, Mexico. From her earliest days, faith was woven into the fabric of her life like threads in a traditional rebozo. Her great-grandmother, Dona Isabella, had been a renowned curandera, a healer who blended indigenous remedies with Catholic devotion. It was Dona Isabella who first acquired the family heirloom, a small wooden statue of Our Lady of Guadalupe, carved by a local artisan in the late 1800s and said to have been blessed during a pilgrimage to the basilica. Legend within the family whispered that Dona Isabella once saw the Virgin in a dream, instructing her to pass the statue down through generations as a vessel of protection. "This is no mere wood," she told her daughter. "It carries the tears and triumphs of our people." Elena inherited this devotion early on. As a child, she would kneel beside her mother in their adobe home, reciting the rosary by candlelight while the stars twinkled overhead. "Mama, why does the Virgin wear roses?" little Elena once asked. Her mother smiled and replied, "Because she brings beauty to our thorns, Mija. She turns suffering into something sacred." These lessons shaped Elena into a woman of quiet strength. She married young to a kind farmer named Antonio, and together they raised 3 children: Rosa, the ambitious eldest, Miguel, the sensitive middle child, and Carlos, the youngest, always the dreamer. The family attended Mass every Sunday at the village chapel, where Elena led the women's prayer group, organizing novenas and feasts in honor of Our Lady. But life's tempests tested this foundation. In 1996, when Elena was 40, a freak storm caused a tractor accident that claimed Antonio's life, leaving her widowed and burdened with debts. She toiled in the fields by day and sewed garments by night to keep the family afloat. Rosa, then 18, fled to Mexico City for university, embracing a modern, secular world of law books and boardrooms, gradually distancing herself from what she called village folklore. Miguel, haunted by his father's death, turned to alcohol as a crutch, his once bright spirit dimmed by hidden bottles and unspoken grief. Carlos married young but struggled with a volatile relationship, his wife Ana often threatening to leave amid financial woes. Through it all, Elena clung to her faith, visiting the chapel daily and clutching her rosary like a lifeline. "Our Lady understands loss," she'd say. "She stood at the foot of the cross. She'll stand with us." The first signs of Elena's illness appeared in 2015, subtle at first, a persistent fatigue, unexplained bruises. By 2017, after months of tests in the city hospital, the diagnosis came: acute myeloid leukemia, a ruthless cancer that attacked her blood and bone marrow. Chemotherapy ravaged her body, stripping her of her thick black hair and leaving her frail, her once vibrant eyes shadowed by pain. She was admitted to Hospital General de Mexico, a bustling facility where overworked doctors like Dr. Sofia Mendoza, a brilliant but cynical oncologist in her 50s, raised in an atheist household, fought daily battles against incurable diseases. "Señora Vasquez," Dr. Mendoza said bluntly during rounds, "we'll do what we can, but prepare your family. This is aggressive." As Elena's condition worsened, the hospital became a second home for her scattered family. Rosa visited sporadically, her designer suits clashing with the sterile environment, often checking emails during conversations. "Mama, you need to focus on the treatments, not prayers," she'd argue. Miguel came more often, smelling faintly of whiskey, his eyes red from regret. Carlos brought his children sometimes, trying to mask the strain in his marriage. Amid this, Father Luis Ramirez entered the picture. A soft-spoken priest from a nearby parish, Father Ramirez had volunteered at the hospital for decades, offering solace to the dying. With his wire-rimmed glasses and gentle Irish-Mexican accent, his mother hailed from Dublin, he brought a warmth that cut through the clinical cold. He first met Elena during a routine visit, drawn by her rosary beads dangling from the bed rail. "Elena, tell me about your faith," he said one afternoon, pulling up a chair. She shared stories of her village, the statue, and her dreams, vivid nightly visions that had intensified with her illness. In them, a woman in a teal mantle appeared amid fields of roses, her voice soothing, "Fear not, daughter. I am with you in your suffering." Father Ramirez listened intently, sharing tales of Marian apparitions worldwide, from Lourdes to Fatima. "Our Lady chooses the humble," he told her. "She appeared to a peasant boy in Guadalupe. Why not to you?" These sessions became weekly rituals, with Father Ramirez leading Elena in prayer, sometimes joined by curious nurses. One evening, as Elena described a dream where the Virgin handed her a rose that bloomed eternally, Father Ramirez felt a chill. "This is no coincidence," he whispered. "Keep inviting her in." By early 2018, Elena's leukemia had progressed to its terminal stage. Palliative care began, focusing on comfort rather than cure. On March 20th, Dr. Mendoza gathered the family in a cramped conference room. "Her kidneys are failing. The cancer has spread to her liver. She has days, maybe hours." The news hit like a thunderclap. Rosa buried her face in her hands, guilt flooding her for years of neglect. Miguel paced, fighting the urge for a drink. Carlos called Ana, his voice breaking. That night, Elena lay awake, her body a vessel of agony, yet her spirit serene. She prayed fervently, fingering the rosary her mother had given her. "Virgin Maria, if it's my time, let me see you one last time. Guide my children back to you." The pivotal moment came on March 22nd, as twilight painted the sky in hues of orange and purple. Surrounded by her children, Elena's breathing labored, her skin ashen. With effort, she spoke her final request. "Mis Hijos, before I leave this world, bring me the statue of Our Lady from home. The one from Abuela Isabella. I want to hold her, to see her face as I go to meet her." Silence enveloped the room. Rosa hesitated, thinking it sentimental nonsense, but seeing her mother's pleading eyes, she nodded. Miguel, ever the dutiful son, volunteered to fetch it, speeding back to San Miguel in the family truck. The drive was torturous, 2 hours each way through winding roads, but he arrived home at dusk, dust-covered and determined. The statue sat on the family altar, surrounded by wilted marigolds. He wrapped it carefully in a shawl and raced back, arriving at the hospital just past midnight. Elena, barely conscious, smiled weakly as Miguel placed the statue in her hands. Its wood felt warm, almost alive. "Now pray with me," she urged. The family complied, their voices uneven at first. Rosa mumbled the words, memories of childhood masses resurfacing. Miguel's hands shook, but he joined in. Carlos held Anna's hand tightly via video call. Father Ramirez, summoned by a nurse who sensed the gravity, arrived and elevated the prayer to a full rosary, his voice steady like an anchor. As they recited the mysteries, the room's atmosphere shifted subtly, the air grew thicker, infused with an inexplicable peace. Then, at precisely 1:11 a.m., a number Father Ramirez later interpreted as a sign of the Holy Trinity's unity, the first miracle stirred. A delicate fragrance of blooming roses wafted through the vents, impossible in the sealed hospital wing. Nurses in the hallway exchanged puzzled glances. One, Maria Gonzalez, a devout Catholic, crossed herself. Inside, Elena's fingers tightened around the statue, and a soft glow began to radiate from it. A luminous aura, golden and pulsating like dawn breaking through fog. "What is that?" Rosa whispered, her skepticism cracking. The light intensified, casting ethereal shadows that danced on the walls, illuminating 4 bags and monitors in a heavenly sheen. But the true astonishment came next. As the glow peaked, a translucent figure materialized above the bed, a woman of indescribable beauty, cloaked in a starry mantle, her feet adorned with roses, her hands extended in blessing. The apparition's presence filled the room with a tangible warmth, like a mother's embrace. "Elena, my beloved child," the voice resonated clear and melodic, heard by all present, including 2 nurses who had peeked in. "Your steadfast faith has called me. I come to heal not just your body but the wounds of your family." The Virgin's gaze swept over Rosa, piercing her doubt. "Return to the light, daughter." To Miguel, "Let go of your chains, freedom awaits." To Carlos, "Love endures through forgiveness." Elena, tears streaming, reached out. "Madre Santissima, you've answered." In that instant her body arched, not in death throes but in revival. The heart monitor, which had slowed to a dirge, spiked with vitality. Color flooded her cheeks, strength surged through her limbs. She sat upright, unassisted, her eyes bright with wonder. The apparition lingered a moment longer, then faded into mist, leaving behind the rose scent and a profound silence. Chaos ensued. Dr. Mendoza burst in, summoned by frantic beeps, her face paling at the sight. Emergency tests revealed the inconceivable. Elena's blood counts normalized, scans showed no cancer traces. Her organs regenerated as if time had reversed. This can't be," Dr. Mendoza muttered, ordering repeat labs. "It's beyond science." The miracle's shockwaves extended far. Hospital staff, from janitors to administrators, whispered of the event. Security footage, later reviewed, captured the glow but not the apparition. Yet over a dozen witnesses, including skeptics like a visiting surgeon, corroborated the story. Rosa, profoundly transformed, knelt and wept, vowing to reclaim her faith. She resigned from her firm to establish Fundación Luz de María, a charity providing holistic care, medical and spiritual, for terminal patients. Miguel, inspired by the Virgin's words, checked into rehab that week, emerging sober and founding a support group for addicts in San Miguel. Carlos and Ana renewed their vows in a tearful ceremony at the village chapel, their marriage fortified. News exploded. Local media dubbed it El Milagro del Hospital. Vatican envoys arrived, interviewing witnesses and examining the statue, which yielded no scientific anomalies yet occasionally emitted the rose aroma during masses. Pilgrims converged on the hospital, now featuring a dedicated chapel. Elena, discharged days later, lived vibrantly until 2030 at 74, traveling globally to testify at conferences and retreats. She wrote a memoir, Roses in the Storm, detailing her visions and the miracle, with proceeds funding orphanages. Her passing was peaceful in her village home, the statue by her side. Father Ramirez, renewed in his vocation, preached, "Our Lady didn't just save Elena, she redeemed us all." In a world of doubt, she reminds us, faith moves mountains, heals divides. The statue now graces a shrine in San Miguel, drawing thousands yearly, where miracles, small and large, continue to unfold. This epic of the Virgin Mary's intercession shows that even in death's shadow, her light pierces through. No plea is unheard, no soul irredeemable. If this longer, deeper dive into Elena's miracle has stirred your spirit, share it with those who need hope. May it encourage relentless prayer, for Our Lady's mercy spans eras and oceans. Subscribe to our channel for more profound stories of Marian miracles, and remember, when life's thorns overwhelm, turn to her. She transforms them into eternal roses.